Hey, bang. Here we go. What's going on, guys? All right, so I'm going to try and roll for about an hour. All right? We're going to roll for about an hour and we're going to do this Bock Saga thing. Um and then we'll try and continue this maybe tomorrow. I don't know. It's the beginning of the weekend. I'll have time after after I get off of work. But we'll see because I'm going to be inclined to do things with money. Um, but welcome to the show tonight. Um, there will certainly be plenty of time to censor this insane amount of nudity in a visual presentation that doesn't need any of the nudity except for that one scene that actually did need the nudity. Oh my gosh. But anyway, by the way, that was Winter Sun, which is one of my absolute favorite Finnish artists, Yari Mempa. I didn't know, I hadn't heard that song yet. I listened to like a couple of riffs. I said, "Cool." Didn't know it was an instrumental, right? So I was waiting to hear like what Yari had wrote about some new age bullshit with his magic crystals. But no, he didn't say nothing about magic crystals. Just the song was just a very magic crystal-y inspired song. Okay. Anyway, for the moment, what we have to offer does not require censorship until the end of this video, which is going to be not very long. Hold on a minute. Actually, okay, about a minute. It's going to be about a minute like this.
Häxkittel. And häxkittel is one feeling she has, so she has to key. One häxkittel is one inside feeling, so now she get the feeling to klee her klee, because from this kittel come this klee. When we have again trolldom, when our dick is standing and we don't know really how to go it down, without to one can take it down. So we have trolldom when the lady has häxkittel, and the lady get out häxmos, and the man get out trollsås. Gubb gum bock svan ers maj Freja, or gubb ben gum bock ken svanen ers maj Freja. Svanen is already one an modder. And gum an is also one an modder. Gum an is one an modder, and svanen is one an modder. And bocken is one an fader, and gubben is one an fader. and everybody who born from one swan, they called pirouette. And they called them Aser and Asynjor. Aser and Asynjor.
So yeah, the Asen and the Asenhjor. And the Asenhjor, we've heard of them, right? Uh, it wouldn't shock me if this is also a source for the name. For the name, I don't know about the people because people seem to claim to be all sorts of different kinds of people, but the Assyrians.
So the feminine are Asynjor and the masculine are Aser. But now they have also something called Roos et. Not only pirouette, because Solbockenbalder is Piru. And Solbockenbalder is making pirouette with a swan. But Solbockenbalder is also making children with these beautiful girls called Disa. And this Disa, when she get mother from Solbockenbalder's sperm, these Disa's children can be in the future one landshövding. The Disa's child can be one landshövding. But the Disa's child can also be one länsfru. And Disa's child can also be one länsherre.
Okay, so I was just double checking Disa. And Disa. Well, hold on a second. I'm getting a Wikipedia answer here, so I don't want to. I want to get something a little bit better. Maybe Vikinger. Let me see here. Norse names. All right, let's just do. I'm going to use Vikinger.org and let's see. Okay, yeah. There it is specifically this is a female figure that people associate with fate. Specifically, the Disir, they appear in poems about the heroes. They are both protectors and harbingers of death. Okay, her Disir, or any female spirit or supernatural being. This includes the Fylgjar, the Hamingja, the Norns, the Valkyries, and even some goddesses. Okay, so on this level of the Bock saga, because this is all still talking about, like, the family genetics, like, this is all freak, like, your family could model yourself after one of these, as long as you operate within modern convention. Right? That's kind of the idea, right? You can't do certain you can't do the taboos like that anymore, but you could still have something in the spirit of the old ways that you understand where it comes from, and you understand the deep significance of a certain kind of evolution that you got through the will of Odin. One of the rare times that the big G does something on a whim and changes the operation up. Right? Because the soul power dynamics on the planet were growing out of balance. That's been the gist of what happened that I can think of, based on how the Bock saga plays out, and then the abrupt conception of of the, and it's got, like, it's a little bit of a biblical, it's a little bit of a Genesis 6 conspiracy style script flip to it, right? So yeah. So the Disir, right? Right. So these women are who made the human lore, the humanized lore out of these understanding of these spirits, right? Which, it may be that these souls, because if these were so upline in soul power with the Bock family, the family, the whole family as a whole thing with Ra and Maya, right? You would be if you died as one of power who had a lot of soul power, your soul might be doing something different in the afterlife in that time, right? The Bock Saga has us understand that on the historical side of the Bock Saga is that mankind's mind was pretty unified through language and had this kind of a clear picture of their absolute inherent relationship between being up in the well of souls or being down here having the incarnated experience. And so I think that may be why we're getting ancestral spirits like that, because it's coming from the ghosts of these people. Right? Perhaps they had their ascension, and there's a mortal side of them that reincarnates and does its thing, but there's a part of them that ascended. Right? Maybe, if it works like that. It might not work like this. Sometimes I have to go back and look at these metaphysical dimensions a few times again. But anyway.
Så de länsherres moder is Vandisa, de länsfrus moder is Vandisa, and the landshövdings mother is Vandisa. So now Vandisa is one stam mother. The Disa is the stam mother. Then Svan and Guman are an mothers. Now these children of the Disa, if they have ball lans, they call them, they can be one landshövding. If they have one ball lans, they can be one landshövding. But if they have ballklubba, they become one länsherre. So now only the children of Disa who has one balans can be landshövding in the future. All the other has to be only länsherrar in the ringlands. Now that is länsherre, they call him also for narr. So the länsherre is also one narr. And the länsfru is one si narr. Så det lens fruisvan si enar. Enar means unite. And they can have an hov narr. And hov si narr. And this hov is hova in up to the kammar, where there are kammarfruar who is kammar in, and kammarherrar who is kammar in. But also hov narr is one hov narr who is hova in. Like one see narr is one narr who is hova in. So they have the name hov in all these ringlands. But inside in Odenma is six kammar fruar and 10 kammar herrar who kammar in the system. Now outside of this pirouette roset, we have inside in every ringland jarl ett, karl ett, and träv ett. So every ringland is divided in 3 different castes. Now one landshövding, who is the child of Vandisa, and father is Solbakken Balder. Now the landshövding, he made the jarl daughter pregnant. And the jarl man make the car woman pregnant. And the car man make the trail woman pregnant. But the trail by themselves had no right to make children, but they could always uppoffra for the coming child in Asgard.
So I just want to say, I think here at the 250 mark, we are finally done with all of the non-art-based nudity of the film.
And this we call pirouette, ros ett, jarl ett, karl ett, and träv ett. So every trail could say my father is Kar, every Kar could say my father is Jarl, every Jarl could say my father is the landshövding, and every landshövding could say that my father is the Solbakken Balder, who later on became even himmelsgode Oskegubben Per. Now when these lensfruar, when they get a bit more older, they could call them old ring ladies, old ringar. And these old ringar, in the end they become skärringar. Skärringar, ladies called skärringar, who was old ringar, who before had been beautiful lensfruar. And now we have påskkärringar and påskhäxor. So the påskhäxor is already 6 häxor. With many påskkärringar, who are all the ladies who is now uppoffra themselves in this Blåkulla for their sisters Disa, who is drinking their sav, because the Disa, she is drinking from her påskkärringars sav in one savbrunn, where the sav is in a way mixed with water. So when the woman had their Disa had her 30-day honeymoon, she was drinking from the sav water from the savbrunn.
So I just wanted to just talk about it's very interesting, this image that we're looking at. So I just wanted to take a second on it before it got too small or they panned off. This kind of has a couple of different appearances to me. With the very background, it looks kind of like a head, right? And then this would be viewing the body in some way, shape, or form. And so you've got what looks like either like a chopped umbilical cord or a penis, and then you've got this kind of this in between two things motif, and they look, in one way they look, I mean, the color is pink. It's very fleshy. It's like it looks like pink salt, right? With carvings on it. And, it could be spread cheeks, and then I think you guys can see my mouse. We've also got like this situation right here in this lighter pink area, which is, it kind of looks like there's a face here with big, like, super ears. And even this almost gives it a horn-like silhouette. So yeah, it's just, there's all this interesting imagery. Even like, and then looking like right here, there's a round pool. Like, is that just how the light reflects, and then it makes a dark circle in the water right here? This is a very interesting image they composited. It's meant to tell you something.
Under the 30 days period, what had been upoffered by this påsk skärringar.
Yeah, Shai Halud. Yeah, it definitely also has the super worm look to it, which there's so many questions about like why it all looks like that. Well, they're working with meaning that is set on different Gotland stones, right? So this is demonstrating things. That's why they're bothering to do this. Like right now, this boat is something that is etched on a Gotland stone, right? And so it's taking that etching out and putting it in an environment to take the mythology and explain the history side of the mythology.
Now, Solbok and Balder, he could not give them all 30 days to drink, because they should have been sucking him completely empty.
The honeymoon, okay.
So the Solbok and Balder, he had something what we modern day call for stand-in. That means that from all these ringlands around, one of these landshövding could get the enormous honor in his life to travel the whole way into Nyland and the Gumbostrand, to one place called Eriksnäs. And there in Eriksnäs, all these landshövdingar from different ringland was coming up. And after Eriksnäs, they take the Seabo River down of the river, and they come to one place close to one place called Seaboberget. Seaboberget. And inside in Seaboberget is Balder's temple for Solbok and Balder. So he is there inside in the mountain, and now coming one of these landshövdingar from far away, and they are now exchanging sperm, these Solbok and Balder and this landshövding. So landshövding, of course, had big shot with him when he arrived. Maybe all of them had been getting the honor to be included in these landshövdings' balls. So he is giving the whole shot to Solbocken Balder, who now also give to him one shot. So they are doing what they call 69 in this temple, to exchange sperm. So now this Lens landshövding, the landshövding has been drinking from Solbocken Balder. And now his obligation is to give one shot every day to one Disa, who is now drinking 30 days this landshövding's sperm from this enormous ringland where everybody is included in that sperm. He already gave one shot for Solbocken Balder, and now he get one from him, and now he start to feed this lady Disa, who get all these nami, you know, in 30 days. At the same time, there are also these girls.
And you know, here you're not wrong. I mean, like right now we are talking about this famous figure, you know, who is, you know, this figure is also Cernunnos and everything else, right? The motif of the figure who wields two snakes in either hand. And we're over here talking about the meaning of Shai Halud, right? And talking a little Dune because the prior figure had looked like a sandworm emerging.
Who are in honeymoon drinking from the Sabrun, who has been offered him from Lens fruar, who already are not anymore in the carnival. They are like already like little bit on the older, so they call them old ringar, these skär ringar, and they're only bit old ladies who is putting their sab into the sabrun for these beautiful disas to drink under their honeymoon period in Gumporstrand. Now after they have been drinking 30 days, they are transporting them with some special boat to an island called Bock Landet. And there they are all who've been drinking 30 days and only waiting for the Solbocken Balder, who is sitting in the top of one tower and looking at all these ladies who all are waiting for him to row over to the other side of Frösundet, where he take only one of these ladies who've been drinking 30 days, and he personally is rowing her, the romantic, over to the other side and bringing her to the top of the tower where he is doing his obligation and making her pregnant. So Solbocken Balder could be two shot be father. One he had always to give to this landshövding in the beginning, and now in the end he could put it by himself. And now from these children come these
Whoops, sorry.
länsherrar, länsfruar, landshövdingar, but also Toren Tyr and Toren Tyras mother is Lisa. So now when they're uppoffrade for
You know what? I was going to type this, but, you know, this is actually something good to interrupt and talk real quick. What they're doing in Dune is more or less the exact same thing that they're doing in the Northmen. And the Northmen based every little thing that it did from real sources. So, this blood magic is part of knowing who you are. It's not about controlling your life. It's not about predestining your choices or anything like that. But it's knowing who you are. It makes all the difference in understanding how you cut, how you break ancestral curses. And that is a special order of business if you are royalty. And your sacred genealogical records are of utmost importance just in case some sorcerer secretly cursed your family and then you didn't find out that your family was cursed until some fact came together 6 generations later at around a time that you didn't understand why all sorts of things were going wrong for you. But anyway.
For the coming child in Asgard is the pirouette, roset, jarlet, karlet, trelet, who in a way all are included because the trelet girl, she clear her clitoris and she get climax, and now she is releasing something called Saga. And this she do in one offerlund. One offerlund. So in the offerlund, the trail girl is giving over her Saga to the car girl. And now the car girl, she is going to the kapell, who is under the Jarl's table. So now this car girl, she go, and she outside of the house is one pole with one skär ven hole symbol, was made from straws, and it looks like one lady is under and one media, and all the birds is eating the seeds from this straw combination. She take one straw, this car girl, and after she put it in her shoe to not broke. And after she go into the house, and there is who's through, and she go into the kapell from one side under the table, and this car girl, she come in from the other side under the table called kapell. And there this girl is clear her clitoris and get out her Saga, what this huset fru kan suck via this straw. Isn't it romantic? Mm-hmm. Now next morning, this huset fru is obligated.
Just in case you missed it, he was talking about how they had a special straw so the dude could get the juice from her after her clee time. Isn't that? And he goes, isn't that romantic? But anyway.
To take with bjällarklang, to go to one place called QRQ. And in this QRQ is one QRQ fru. And now this QRQ fru, she is now having the right to drink from all these husets fru, who all are coming to this QRQ for the uppoffra for the coming child in Asgard. So now this QRQ fru, she has a way to go to the, now this was already the temple. The QRQ is already the temple at that time, which is called QRQ. So they have from Offerlund to Kapell, and from Kapell to temple. And from this temple, this QRQ fru, she is offering her Saga to the Lens fru, whose mother is Disa. And now this lensfru, she is offering it to one jungfru. And they had to make one dance called Jungfru dance, where they're dancing in one labyrinth, round, 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 and they turn 7 times before they are in the middle. And this dance called Jungfru dance. And if she, that means that she put some kind of toffs on her balcony, and she can roll them to this side or up or something. It's a special dance. It's the opposite to magdans you have for coming child. That woman, she has to do this magdans for to be mother, but to be jungfru you have to do this balcony. So it must be the balcony who is the sensitive thing in this yppig barm, they call it yppig barm, when the woman want to yppa one secret inside. She maybe get häxkittel, so now she yppa it with her barm to other girls. We don't know about this thing, we men. So now this woman, this jungfru, when she had been going through all these tests, she become one jättinna. And when she is one jättinna, she can go out from her ringland, and she can pass all these ringlands to one place called Saab Lax. And Saab is just this Saab what they are all offering in the Ramsa, and U is the whole, and Lax is the Lax Urmen, what this Kyrö Slottsfru, Kyrö Slottsfru, she has one Laxurm turban on her head, and she has one tower in Kyrö Slott or Nyslott called Bur Tower, and inside in her Bur Tower is one Jungfru Bur, and in the top floor called Wings floor is one Divan, because all these jättinnor are vaner. And there this jättinna is clear her clitoris and release this Saab to the moon queen, who is lying there and waiting for all these nice visitors who come. And now under this moon period, all this has been happening. This moon queen, she has at home in Valhalla, she has 6 sisters who can be kammarfruar, example, in the Ramsafru. And the youngest of this kammarfru is opening her wings and offering for Solfågelsvaden. Now on masculine side, exactly the same. This trail boy, he's only wanking and spitting for the carboy, and the carboy is going under the table and spitting for this husets herre, and husets herre is also wanking for Kyarku herre, and Kyarku herre is also wanking for this lensherre, and lensherre is giving it to one jätte because he been giving and now this jätte is traveling all these lands to the Savolax, where is this Kyarö castle with his Kyarö herre, and he has one Kur tower. And in the vindsförordning of Kur tower he has his tronstol, and there he's sitting and doing his obligation, that his jätte is standing on one pall in front of him, wanking by himself, one slottsdignitär and one slottsföreståndare, a little bit giving stånd and dingel, but otherwise he has to wank by himself, this jätte, and spit it straight in the mouth of the king, the moon king, Bock and Balder. So now Bock and Balder has been drinking there on his tronstol with all his boys who has been standing up in front of him, wanking and spitting the sperm in the mouth. But he has one key. He never touched this king. He put like one key around and take it like that. He doesn't. Now this Moonboken Balder, he has these 11 brothers at home called Lag. And they can be 10 kammarherrar if the kammarin, and the youngest kammarherre is one Kassör, who serve the sperm to Solbocken Balder, who now has been drinking Solbocken Balder from this Kassör, from this kammarherrar. And the second oldest is called Sekreterare, and Sekreterare has been drinking from this Slottsherre or Månbocken Balder, who has been drinking there in Kyre from this Jette, who has been drinking from the Lensherre, whose mother is Disa, who been drinking from this Jarl, who been drinking from this Kar, who been drinking from this Trä. Like that it was before when we offered for the coming child in Asgård to Asgård's Asar and Asynjur.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I don't have to edit anything further.
Gold is there where the hole in the North Pole is. So where the hole in the North Pole is, there is also Midgård. And now Midgård happened to be on one island, one big granite bubble from the beginning of the Creator's time. And on top of this bubble is one hole in the North Pole. Gubb, Ben, Gum, An, Bock, Ken, Svan, Nen, Ers, Maj, Freja. Gum An is one An mother, and Gubb Ben is one An father. So, if we think back to Paradise time, where already Gubben, Gumman, Bocken, Svanen, Ersmaj, Freja was existing. In Paradise time, where they had 2,000 ringlands, much to make children in such a system. But anyway, the small little trail could always think that his father was one Kar. Maybe be proud because my father is one car. But he could also think that his grandfather is one jarl. Also high grandfather to be jarl. And his grandfather's father was one landshövding. And his grandfather's grandfather was Oskegubben Per by himself. So when they think about people, these gudar and gudinnar in Asgård was not so far away, even when it was 2000 Ringland, because if my father is Karl, my grandfather is Jarl. If my grandfather is Jarl, my grandfather's father is in that way always landshövding, and landshövding was son to Disa, and in that way also Oskegubben Per became my grandfather's grandfather. And my grandfather's grandmother, she is this gumman Ella in the Asgårds pantheon. So we was more like one family in these days, when we could think about our relatives in one different proportion than today, when we don't know even if we have one grandfather and grandmother, because they call them mother's parents now for grandfather and grandmother. So we don't really know anymore in English. But in root we have clear. We have your father, your father's father called farfar and farmor, and far and farbror and faster, and mor and far and sister and bror. So for us we can think in our language about these people we are close to without to think about their name. You can always think about your far, your farfar, your farfars föräldrar, your farfars, and you see also your farbror or farbröder, faster and fastrar, mor, far, and bror and syster. So we can think them in the brain. Example, in English they don't have them, or say my grandfather from mom's side and grandfather from papa's side, and in the end come so confused so you can't think about them at all. So in these days when your father was one car and your grandfather was one jarl and the grandfather's father was one landshövding and the grandfather's father's father had been Solbock and Balder, who in the end had been becoming Bock and Balgubben Per, who become the Oskegubben Per in the sky.
These structures here are pretty big. You saw that little cruiser, that little cruiser boat pass by, and that's not a very big boat, right? But that seemed pretty dwarfing in many respects, right? You don't feel that with like ordinary like stuff like this, right? So it's good to see that boat pass by for scale.
Something to think about if we think back how they had it before 50 million,
Is that a submarine?
19 years back.
It's a submarine.
50 million.
So, dude, like, this could be like Star Fort structuring, which, this would be, if, with the Star Forts, well, we got to look at all the history, right?
10,000.
It's not, that may not necessarily have been put there by, like, the original family. That could have been put there by others.
And 19 years back, 50,010,019 years back happened one Ragnarök, so the axle and pole changed. And in these days we call this landshövding for Maaherra. Maaherra is one landshövding 50,010,019 years back. Maaherra. And herra means same like herr in one. So this Maaherra, he was also one Rabbi. Yeah? So he was not only Maaherra, he was also Rabbi, or he was landshövding.
So when he's saying Rabbi, that's the Rabbi is now the rabbis, right? So this is one of those intermediaries between the outer rings, the outer rings of Udenma and the royal family.
In one ringland, and now because the Ragnarök came and it come 10 different tropical art of people, one of them get the name Narr. One of them get the name Narr. And because his kass was so big, he become Narr kass sur. Sur means big in one. So now this Narkasur, he get one place called Pueskar, and in top of Pueskar is one lake. And there in the middle of the lake, this Narkasur, he built one tower with one niche. Now Narkasur's children get one ringland each. And they call them Ma, Ha, Ra, Di, and A.
And that's very close to Maharaja.
And the Maharaja, he is making children with the Jarl, and they are calling their Jarl for only Radia, no Maharadia, only Radia. And the Radia's children again is called Kar, same like in Paradise Time. And we have Sabu PRT, which is our lowest, but they call them only for Gati. So now the Gati girl, she knows that her father is one Kar. And her grandfather is one Raja. And her grandfather's father is one Maharaja. And the grandfather's grandfather is Narkasur. Now also Maharaja's brother is Nar, and sister Sie Nar. So they call him Nar Kassur. Now their Nars can go personally to Pueskar and offer for their father's coming child. Or they could of course also send one Jette and Jetinna in their system. So now the Maharaja's father is the Nar Kassur in Pueskar, called place, in Radiastan, in Radiastan is one place called Pueskar, and in top of Pueskar hill is one lake. And in the middle of the Pueskar lake is Narkasur's palace, and in the top he has one niche. And now all these Nars from these different ringlands are coming and standing in one half circle around this lake. So they can make question to Narkasur who sit in his niche. and they're shouting up the question, and he's listening, and after this Narkasur is with high voice shouting the answer to this Nar, who is going to his England and telling his brother, the Maharaja.
Okay. I think I want to pause it right there because right there after he spoke of the Maharaja, he gave a little pregnant pause, and the frame is freezed at the moment, and it's 9 o'clock. So I want to thank you all. I'm going to wind down and have the rest of my evening. I appreciate you being here. We'll get through, what is it, 319, and it's 459 altogether. So, yeah. Maybe two more episodes if I can do two episodes that are longer than an hour. Then I think I might be able to do it. Because to go to 319 to 4, yeah, yeah. I need a little less than there's a little less than 2 hours to this thing left. So anyway, gonna wish you all a very good night.